Hey everybody, welcome back to Critical Mass. I'm Paul, doing another car review. Last night I went to see Frozen 2. Don wanted to do this movie. It was his most anticipated movie of the year, and he's down in Disney. But it opened just after he left, so he wasn't able to do it. So you're stuck with me. Back in 2013, Frozen came out and it was mega successful. It gave you songs that were in your head non-stop, whether you wanted them there or not. It was kind of irritating actually, because you would go for days on end singing that Let It Go song. I liked that song. I liked it for a long time, but it wears on you. And all the merchandise out there for Frozen, it was just everywhere you looked, the backpacks, lunch boxes, poster, everything was Frozen. So now Frozen 2 comes out. 6 years later, is it going to be as good as the original? I'm thinking that's a difficult question to answer. Let's start off with what you're seeing on the screen. The animation in this movie is beyond what you can imagine. Like, they are putting expressions on the characters' faces that are, you take them for granted when you're talking to a real human, but to see it reflected on an animated face, it kind of blows your mind. Like, there's this one part where Elsa has to begrudgingly let her sister know that, yeah, she has a point. And what facial expression do you make when you want to say, okay, yeah, you made a good point? It's like, yeah. Well, she did it perfectly. Like, you didn't need an explanation about what she was feeling. The animation for the texture of the clothing, even when Anna gets wet, the clothing that she wore before, the texture that it had, was now exactly what it would be if it had gotten wet. It was incredible. The story was fine. It was quite predictable. Elsa gets called on a quest because she hears a voice. And this voice is, or something like that. And due to some backstory stuff with her parents, she goes on the quest to find this voice to do a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to say what it is. But it's kind of predictable. Once you hear what the quest is, you know how the entire movie is going to turn out. There's a lot of subplots that you know exactly how they're going to turn out, with Olaf and with Anna and I think his name is Sven. There's nothing unpredictable in this movie. However, the story is still engaging. It's fun. Well, wait. Let me take the word fun back. It's entertaining. Let's just leave it there. I enjoyed the story. I was invested in the story. And when I got out of the movie, I was happy I saw this movie. The music. This is a tough one. The original Frozen gave you Let It Go. And it also gave you the Anna song. You'll see it at the end of this video. But those songs were ones that you could remember and you can sing to as you're doing your work or washing the dishes, or when it comes on, you know the words and you can sing along. Now, this movie had a lot of good songs with very strong performances, but the songs were very unmemorable. Like, there was no jingle that I will be going throughout my day and say, okay, this is the Frozen 2 song and I'm going to hum it or I'm going to sing it. All the songs are completely forgettable after you hear them. That's not to say that they weren't epic. In the movie, they fit, and the performances of Kristen Bell and I think her name is Erdina, they sing very well. Even Sven gets Sven gets his own little song, and it's really fun. I really love his backup singers, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but that's, I guess, the funny song of the movie. Disney always has one funny song, sometimes two, that kind of go all crazy. I guess this would be that song, although it was really toned down. They didn't go all crazy and goofy, because the song itself was about possible love loss and heartbreak and confusion about relationships. So kind of a wasted opportunity there. Although I did like the backup singers in that song. It was really funny. Themes. Okay. Now, I'll have to give this one to Disney. Because we've been seeing a lot how there's been a lot of social commentary, social messages inside of their films with Star Wars, and I'm pretty sure they did not want to attach the woke label to this big blockbuster animation. There was chatter and even some groups pushing for Disney to make Elsa engage in a same-sex relationship in this movie. And there comes a scene in the movie where she does spend a moment with another female character, but that's all it was. It was like just hanging out, chatting. She does not engage in any relationship in this movie. Good for you, Disney. We don't want children's animations giving us social messages like that. That's for families to decide. We don't need Disney to do it for us. But the messages that they did decide to focus on are the ones that made Disney such a behemoth in the first place. It's like family, sisterhood, a wholesome, loving relationship, innocence in a way. But there were also some other themes that I thought were very mature for a Frozen Disney movie. Yes, the characters are older. This story happens 3 years after the original Frozen. So they've gotten a little older. They're not the teenagers anymore, I guess, or young adults. But kids are watching this movie, and some of the themes are death and maturity and change as you get older, and can I say death again? There is a scene in this movie that'll probably make your kids pretty sad. And even the comic relief character Olaf, little snowman, he's always mumbling these things that I don't even think the kids will understand. Like, it's going way over their head. Like, even I barely am able to keep up with what he's talking about. Although some of the times he is pretty funny. What would I give this movie? Well, this movie was really, really good. It's visually, it's really nice on the ears. The songs were excellent. I'd have to give this a solid. For children, I would have to give this movie a 7. They're not going to appreciate this movie like they did the very first one. The first one was very fun, had music that you can sing over and over again. It was the introduction of Olaf, which was a cuddly character that was really funny. Yet, you go to this movie and there are more mature themes. The music isn't as memorable. Olaf is mumbling kind of more mature, complicated things that children are just not going to get. Although there is a tiny little critter in this movie that you're going to fall in love with when you see it. It's just adorable. And I'm a 46-year-old guy, and I think I want something of this critter, a little plushie or something. So for children, definitely a 7. For an adult, an 8. The animation was incredible. I would say don't avoid taking your children to it. There were some children in the audience and they seemed to, I don't know, have lively spirits. So maybe they enjoyed it. I just don't think it's going to be as good as maybe other cartoons that are coming out that are geared really towards children.